So I've just picked up a few bits and pieces. I found a little small piece of like a fluorescent orange. I've got this lovely sparkly black. I've got this one, it's a sort of navy grey type colour, like that. And I've got this white one. So most of my ribbons I keep on rows like that, and I put a long piece of wire, and they're all sort of together on a row like that. But any little small pieces of ribbon I use the green tape, which you can get into Poundland. It's like a green wire, and I just roll it around like that, all around it, roll it around my hand. So you would put it on your hand, roll it all around, and then if it's just a small piece, I just put the piece of wire on it, and it keeps it nice and flat, stops it from getting all tangled. You don't get all the knots. And when you take it out, because if you take your ribbon and you tie it up, you end up getting a mark on the ribbon. You have to iron it before you use it. So I find this way is really good, and that keeps that nice and flat. You can sort of just hang that again on your wire or whatever, or pop it in your drawer or whatever you want. So that's just a little way I do that. So what we're going to do is, this is what I got from the car boot, so it's adorably cute, and we are going to make a slide very similar, but we're going to use one of the candy coins we made, and this is the one I put the piece of metal in the back, and that will just give, help you to be able to stick it, because it does stick with the hot glue, but not as well as it does if you stitch it on. Okay, and you'll need a hair clip. Now I bought the big packet of these into Poundland, and they were black, silver and gold, so they'll work quite well. If you look at the back of this one, it's got a different type of clip like that. Now you can get these clips from eBay. They're slightly more expensive than those. I think I got that at 20. I think, and then obviously you've got to pay postage, you know, so it's whatever you decide to do. These definitely stay better in the doll's hair than those, but you know, they're not too bad. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've got my hot glue gun nice and hot. I'm just going to put a piece of paper on the table. So the first piece we're going to do is we're going to take the ribbon, and we're going to cut a piece. So if you have a look at this one, you can see they've got a piece which would go from there to there, and then they folded it in half and they've put it so it goes up like that. Okay, so you're going to want a piece about that sort of size. All right, just cut that, and then so you're going to need two pieces like that. Okay, and then the third piece, which you can see they've got, is a piece which has gone right down the back, so you're going to need a third piece which is that size like that. Okay, right, and then what you're going to do, just not quite the same, is take your pieces of ribbon and fold them in half like that, and you're going to snip them just like that there. There we go, and you got those lovely points there. Do the same on that one. There. And there we go. And we'll do the same on this piece as well. So I've got my three pieces, the two bigger ones and the small ones. So this one is going to sit on it like that. Okay. This one's going to go like that. And this one is going to go like that. Okay, just like that. All right, so I'm going to put a dab of glue on each of those. I'm not going to stick it onto here yet. Okay, just put another stick in. Oh, maybe not quite yet. So just get your glue, make sure it's coming out okay. Yeah, that's fine. Put a dab of glue there, which is a straight one, and then put these two on top. One. Now remember, when you're using hot glue, it is really hot and it will burn you if you're not careful. Alright, if you're a child, you really need to ask an adult for help to do this. Okay, don't put your fingers right on it. What you can do is, if you're thinking you're going to put it on there and you think that's going to be too hot, I like to use this pair of scissors here, and I just push it down using my scissors, and that will hold it, and that'll stop me from getting burnt. These scissors have got like quite a nice straight sort of end on them here, Okay, so this is just one of my old pairs of scissors. I buy really cheap scissors from Poundland, which I use for, you know, different bits and pieces of stuff, and you can keep those and just use them. You wouldn't use them to cut fabric or anything like that, but you could cut polymer clay, or you could cut Word or anything like that. You could cut up glue stick, anything like that. So don't use your nice scissors like these ones, or your scissors for your paper craft. Just use your cheap pair of scissors like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put my orange where the white is. So I'm just going to make my orange. I'm going to fold it. Now what I've done is I've cut my orange at an angle. What you can do if you don't want to do that is you can get a match and light a candle or something like that, and then you can just run the flame along there and then plop it out like that, and that will keep that from fraying. So I want some nice bits of this, okay, going on there. So as you can see, mine has got a dull side and a shiny side, so I want to keep my shiny side up. I'm just going to put a dab of glue there, and I'm going to pull that one over there and pop it onto the top of it. Again, push it down with my scissors, okay? And then I'm going to take another one. I'm just going to move it along a bit because that's a bit too close. There. I'm just starting to run out of glue now. There we go, let's try again. That's better. That's it. Put that one over. And don't be afraid to go back and pop it on top and just see whether you think that's about the right sort of size. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one. Might make these a bit longer like the next couple. And I don't have to follow that one exactly. I could go back and, oh, hang on, I'm just going to twist that so I get my shiny bit on the outside. Okay, I can do as many little loops as I want. I can do, you know, slightly alter it so that I've got it slightly different from the way they've done it. Make it your own design. There we go. So I'm going to put, I think I've got enough to do 2 more. Oh, okay, that is hot, so be careful. It's a bit much glue. Be careful how much you're putting on as well, because the more I put it on, the more it seeps out of the side, and you might burn yourself with that. Just going to stick that one on there as well, and press it down with my scissors. Okay, that's quite a nice shape. Now, if you get it to this point and you think, oh, that looks rubbish, I don't like that, I mean, not to worry, obviously, but you can always pull it off and wiggle it around. But also, what you can do is just get some more glue and stick it so that you want it in the shape you want it to be in. I'm not too happy with this one here, so what I'm going to do is put a tiny bit of glue there, just a tiny bit, and just pull over a little bit of that, like that. That's better. That's not so big sticking out there now. So when I put that on there, that looks quite nice. I'm going to take off that long end, because we haven't got one on the other side, and I'm going to try and cut it at an angle so that that'll just stop it from fraying. Okay, now you're not going to see any of this middle bit because that is all going to have your candy corn stuck on top of it. Okay, so I'm going to pop a dab of glue there like that. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this one on top like that. Right, and then we're going to do exactly the same as we've just did with that one with this lovely white. Okay, but I think I'm only going to do 4 on that one, so it'll just sort of sit on the top. Okay, and I'll just do 4, so it doesn't matter with this one what side you go on. All right, and then you don't want it too big. Okay, oh, hot. They do sell these glue guns and the glue sticks into Poundland. I think they're £2 for the glue gun, something like that. I think, or maybe a bit dearer, but yeah, you know, so you don't have to spend anything too much. Okay, there we go. That was hot. Use my scissors. I should take my own advice, really, shouldn't I? Press that one down as well. That should probably stick on there. This well. And then I'm going to take my scissors. These cut the ribbon the best, like that, and just cut that in the middle there. Okay, I think I pushed it onto the paper. What you're better using, and I just ran out, is, you know, the baking paper you use, baking parchment or baking paper. It's grease proof. I used, if you can get a piece of that to put underneath, you'll see the glue, that it just comes right off. You can see that just peels right off that there. So that is a better one to work on, really, if you've got some. Pop that onto the top like that. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in the centre, just a little. Okay, pop that in. There, we're building up quite a nice little thing there. And then we're going to put some of this black, this lovely black shiny. Okay, so, you know, have a look out in charity shops or cheap shops and that sort of thing, and pick up stuff when you see them. You know, you don't need to rush out and buy stuff. You can sort of, you know, look out for things and saying, if you pick something up and you think, oh yeah, that'll be nice, I'll put that away, and have a little box of, you know, like where you put your haul in, of craft stuff, and then when you come to a project, just go to that box and have a look in there, and you'll probably find that, I'm going to put that on there so that I can stick this on it. You'll probably find in your box that you've got plenty of things you can use. You don't probably need to go out and buy anything. Okay, so that's what I try to do. I just pick up things which I think, oh, that might be useful in the future, and if it's not very much money, I'll pick it up. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of money on doing craft in that, if you know, I'd rather spend it on other things. So that's a good way to do it. Just think to yourself, right, well, oh, I could use that. Like last week I bought some Easter stickers, but obviously it's nowhere near Easter. We're coming up towards Halloween, so but I saw them there and they were about 50p, I think. And I got 3 packs of them, and so I picked those up because I felt that that can go away, because I'll have that then all ready to do my Easter things. Another thing when you're going out to charity shops is you can make friends with the people in the charity shop. Always be polite when you go in there and talk to them. You know, make conversation with them if they're not very busy. If they're busy, like, just give them their space. I'm just going to trim that off at the back there. And if you make friends with them, they tend to sort of look out for things for you, and they might put things back for you. Because I've said to them in the past, oh, I'm looking for this or that for my kids and that, you know. If you see something, I'll be down again, you know, on Wednesday. I always go down on a Wednesday, or whatever day you go down. Could you just pop it in behind if you see one of those? And quite often they have done for me. And also sometimes they'll let you have things a little bit cheaper, you know, so if you're always nice and kind in that. I always like to say, when I finish buying all my stuff, I always say, oh, take an extra £1 and put that in for a donation, because then that keeps, then they're like that, you know. And even though they might have given you a bit of reduction, you can just say, oh, take an extra 50p and put it in, or something like that. And they'll get used to you going. Have one which you support. I mean, I support, it's an animal shelter one, because that's where we got our cats from, and they looked after our cats really well before we got them, so that's the one I support. And I also support a hospice one as well, because my sister went into a hospice at the end. So there we go, pop that in there, and then we're just going to stitch that onto there. It's on the front. Now, if that piece of metal is sticking out too far, what you can do is take your pliers and press that down until you get it into the position where you want to stitch that in, or you can have a go and see whether or not you can get it to stick. Quite often with the polymer clay, you might be able to just push it down so it lays flat like that, like it's laying flat, but you can still get your needle in there. So you can try the glue with it. Quite often I struggle to get it to stick. I'll have a go. You've got that extra bit. If it does come out, push it in. if it does come out, you've got that extra bit of metal where it will hold on, or actually it's sticking at the moment, so let's just hope that goes on okay. So there you have a little ribbon, and then you can just take your clip, put a nice big dollop on here of glue, and then pop that onto the top of it, onto it, so that it's going that way around. Now, you don't just have to make this for your doll, you can make this for yourself as well, or your children or whatever. That's quite a nice little Halloween thing they could put in their hair, or you could put in your hair if you're doing something Halloweeny and you don't really want to put on a hat or anything. I just stuck a bit of glue which was on my finger to it. There you go. So that is my clip all finished. I'm just going to leave that to dry on the back a minute and clean my fingers up because I've got quite a lot of glue on them. But there it goes. I keep putting it down and saying that, don't I? So there you go. One lovely clip all finished off. I'll just leave that to dry for a minute, and then I'll put it onto our doll. One thing I was just going to say is if you're finding that it doesn't stay on the back of your clip very well, what you can do is just take some cotton and a needle and just sew around there, and then again around there, so you go behind it, around, okay, 4 or 5 stitches. And that'll just hold that nice and firmly, and you can pop your little thing in there as well. Remember to close your knife up if you're using a knife. Close all your scissors up and put them safe. Okay, and with your hot glue, remember to unplug it straight away after you've finished, and to leave it somewhere to cool down. Don't put it straight away because it's very hot, it could cause a fire. But also if a child came in and touched it or something, they could burn themselves. All right, so just put that out of the way somewhere where nobody can get at it, and make sure it's nice and safe. Okay, so here it is. What do you think? I love it. Thanks ever so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.